And we are on. Hi, everyone that watching us. I have a big pleasure to be with a guy that I'm very proud to call friend, and Henare Obrien, originally from New Zealand and now in Bali. And I'm very excited because Henare and Kate, his wife, got a big, big impact on my life personally. And when I thought about Permission to Shine, about the event we're doing in Israel, Reshut Le'Air, they was the first one for me to get to Israel, and I very excited to everyone that will come to the event to see them in action. And I will let Henare to introduce himself and what is he doing, so you guys can get to know him as well. And without further ado, hey, Hen.
Thanks, brother. Nice to speak with you again. So yeah, my name's Henare Obrien. I'm from New Zealand. I have a daughter that's 17. She's just about to head to university. And I've got a son that's 12 years old, and he's just heading into his teenage years. I've been married to my wife, or with my wife, for 17 years. And we're all from New Zealand, many miles from Israel. You
Yes.
guys are in the Middle East. We're right down the bottom of the world. And me and the brother here were just talking about how my accent. So when I come to Israel, I'll try and speak slowly so people can understand what I'm saying. Kiwis have a very interesting accent at times, so we're not easily understandable. But I promise you I'll do my best to bring some clear information to you. Anyway, I was a professional basketballer when I was younger, and I also was a primary school teacher. I taught children for nearly 10 years. And what I discovered was that certain types of learning don't work well for human beings. And it really frustrated me that we were expected to tell not only children but adults how to learn. So that frustration had me then leave teaching and start a personal development business 10 years ago, and sort of go through the ups and downs of business, as well as learning to develop myself into a person who was not only a learning father and husband, but also someone in business that was able to translate information to other people. Excuse me. Sadly, recently, my beautiful brother, who's got a painting on the wall here, has just passed away. And so I'm not only dealing with the growth of my business, but the mourning of a dear, loved and close brother that actually Nev here was with recently, who was doing a lot of community work and helpfulness. So that passing has further ignited me as the older brother to continue holding the torch for my younger brother's work. And it brings a lot of sadness to me that he's not here, but I know that wherever he is in the cosmos, universe, heaven, wherever that is, he's smiling down on me somewhere and saying, get on with it, because Kiwis are kind of like the get on with it type of people. Yeah, thanks. And I look forward to having a conversation today to talk about some of the things that we may be talking about when we come to this wonderful event in Israel.
Amazing. And then personally, for me, I saw the funeral on Facebook, and that was very special to see, because in Israel we are much more screaming and ripping shirts apart and things like that. And it was outstanding to see how everyone did how it's called, the dance, the New Zealand war dance.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, but so New Zealand, my culture, if you see my tattoos, our culture goes back thousands of years, and it's called the Māori culture, which is an indigenous population of New Zealand. My culture being Māori, half of me is a tattoo culture. This isn't just tattoos for fun. These are actually symbols of our culture. And the other side is the Irish, the English side of me. So I'm a bit of a mixed blood. But haka that during our war times, when we were at war with different tribes or different countries, we would do a war dance. And that war dance is in tribute. It can either be something to confront people with, I'm going to fight you, or it can be to honor somebody who's passed away. So what the brother here was talking about is a haka is, it kind of go, do you mind if I show you a little bit?
Yes, please.
So one of the interesting things about the haka is this one is about a father and a son. So the father is standing on the bank of a river, and he looks at his son and he says to his son, son, through life, you're going to go through much adversity. But by going through the adversity, you will grow into being the man that you know you can be. So the haka, when we do the haka, we sort of go, it goes like this. The language goes, it goes, Tika, and we do action. So we go, Tika tonu, uwe. Tika tonu, uwe. Tika tonu watu ki akwe etama. Hiki nei koe aku whakaro pakia. So that's the type of energy of the haka. And so when I'm singing that, it's saying, son, you will grow into a man one day and you will learn how to be a man. Kia wa toheki. Ki roa toheki. So that's been passed down from generation to generation. And it's about either, I think during World War II, there was the Māori battalion, which was our Māori people, went and fought in the war. And I think there's a document where Rommel, Rommel, which was, I think, one of the Nazi generals, he was so taken aback by the haka, but also by the furiousness of the Māori, because our culture is we're like a warring culture. So he was taken aback by the ferocity of the Māori. We would do haka before we fought, and then we would rush into battle like it was the best thing since sliced bread. So we have a culture of tradition of war, and the haka is a representation of that. More modernly nowadays, it's more of an expression of connection. And when my brother died, we had, I think, maybe 1,000 people doing that. You imagine, oh, come on, we were all doing the haka.
On the street, so, it was very powerful.
We were doing it on the street. So as someone passes away and they come out, we do that haka for them. And it's an expression of love and appreciation for somebody. I get all choked up when I think about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. And I think I saw it first time in the rugby. I saw the rugby team of New Zealand doing it before the game. And it was scary and beautiful. First time that I watched it, I said, whoa. And very powerful. And I think for me, the work that Henare does, that's something for me. I personally, my experience was kind of pulling the carpet under my really secure and beautiful life, and I felt like a 13-year-old, I have to say, and go through a lot of emotions, and then rebuild myself. And that's what happened in the retreat in Bali when I've been with 5 men working with Henare. And if you can tell us a bit about the type of work you do and the people you worked with, and I think that's something really, really interesting, so people will know roughly what is going to go in the event.
So the event, my talking is about taking people to the edge of thinking. So a lot of times what we do is we go and learn information to confirm what we already know. So we read a book and it sounds good. We enjoy reading it. It inspires us, but very rarely do we take action on the reading of a book. We may read 50 books and they may be inspiring, but we may start to notice that 50 books doesn't equate into 50 types of new actions. Mm-hmm. So my curiosity when I was a school teacher is, how do you motivate people to motivate themselves by taking them to the edge of their own thoughts and thinking? That's not an easy place to take people, because people like to know what they already know. So, you tell me this. Yep, I love hearing that. I know I want to hear that. That sounds beautiful. But we know that that is not the point of growth. I can read 1,000 books, and in those 1,000 books, I may be so inspired, but it may not move the needle for me to move in the direction of what I need to do to be a person that takes more action. So when I was a school teacher, I noticed that children were motivated not by the stick or the lolly, we call it, get into shape, or, hey, I'll give you this reward. They were more motivated by some type of internal action when they got to know themselves more deeply. So when I was in school, there was one type of learning called rote learning. 1 + 1 = 2. You learn 1 + 1 = 2, and 1 + 1 will equal 2. Okay, cool. I got it. I'll learn that, and I'll know it. Yes. That's called rote learning. The second type of learning they did in schools was accelerated learning, where you learn 1 + something = 2. You got to find out what that something is to equal 2. Okay, 1 + something. So you try and figure out, and you get blocks. And, okay, I got it. It takes a little bit more inquiry, and that was what schools did well. That's what learning is all about. And then I realized there was another type of learning, a third type called generative. Generative learning is not putting the idea in front of a person. It's putting something in front of you that gets you thinking. For instance, generative learning is, hey, something plus something equals something. Let's find out what those somethings are. And by having people really curiously explore into that type of learning, draws more resourcefulness out of them. Generative learning is not telling people what to do. What it does is it draws what's already there from them and out, usually through linguistics and language. A lot of the times in society, we're told how to be, what to say, and what to do. So we fit into society in those types of paradigms. What we miss out on is expressing what we really think, especially if we live in cultures that tell us we shouldn't do that. So we negotiate life usually by trying to figure out how and what we need to say to kind of survive things. We go to a party. If I say this and I don't do that, I'll be okay in this party. Or if I act this way and don't act that way, I'll be okay with my family. Generative learning, and what we will be doing, is taking a look at the things that may not be working for you and seeing how we can get them working. I'll put an idea in front of you, and that idea will be explored. And as we explore it as a community, we may discover, I don't know if I like thinking this. But getting to that edge is like the butterfly breaking out of the chrysalis. If the butterfly likes the chrysalis, it would stay in it forever, but it wouldn't transform. Transformation occurs when the butterfly struggles to break free so that it can fly into the beautiful butterfly. Transformation is that then we look at the struggle that will have us fly into the new actions that we want to take in life. Generative learning is not an easy process to go through or an easy process to talk about, but it is a process that has more holistic learning in it that help people grow and take actions and be the person that they want to be, not think they should be. When we do that as a community, we can say and talk and communicate to each other in ways that really uplift on deeper levels. I hope that helped a little bit, brother.
Absolutely. I loved it. And I've been in so many events around the world, and Brandon Bouchard and so many, and it was good. And I got inspiration, as you say, but then I came to your guys' event and also in Bali. And I remember I'm thinking, who is this man? I'm going to, and then I just loved everything, because the transformation and the actions and the things that I discovered about myself that I was hiding under all the beautiful words and the things that I learned and bring with me since I'm very young child. It was just unbelievable. So I'm very excited, and thank you for describing it.
So and just to go into it, generative learning is something I've been inquiring about my whole life. What's the next level of learning past the systems that we're taught to learn through? As a school teacher, as a person that was in school, as someone that went to university to learn about learning, I realized that it wasn't the full gift of what learning can be about if we explore through conversations the depth and the width of conversation, rather than just talking about what we know, what we could know. What if we started talking about what we didn't know that would actually come through us and grow us into a new person? that's the area that we go, ooh, and that little jiggle is ourselves busting out of that chrysalis to try and learn how to fly in new ways.
Amazing. Thanks so much. And I'm sure me and you can keep going for a long time, but we let the people, we wanted to get an introduction, and we're going to do some more special things soon, as well as we're getting to the event. And Henare as well, and Kate, I know Henare told me a long time ago, he's very, he would like to come to Israel one day, and then the idea came, and I know he's excited as well to come and see. And
well, do you mind if I mention something, brother?
Mm-hmm.
So as a young child, I lived in a pretty tough community. It was very strong. There were a lot of negative and beautiful things going on. So my parents were lucky enough to hand me different scripture. I know it probably wasn't accurate to the original teachings that came out of Israel, but it was enough to get me curious about the stories from the old country, we'll call it.
Yes.
And it really helped me as a kid put in perspective of having something I could believe in. I said to my mum years ago that if we didn't have that faith brought to us when I was 5, I might not be alive now. So we were quite lucky that some of the essence of what is happening or has happened in Israel over the past 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years was able to be passed in some form, even though it may have been watered down, to a little kid in New Zealand who was really inspired by the stories of even Samson and Delilah, Moses, Abraham, Jesus, the Apostle Paul, all the stories that came. And I know I probably haven't heard the full accuracy of those stories, but they really inspired a little Kiwi kid living in a little area and village to really hope and dream for bigger things in my life. So I just wanted to thank the people that are on this call that are from that area. I don't know if I'm even accurate, but some essence of your lineage, your culture, was able to be passed to a little kid in Flaxmere, New Zealand, and it helped me through my life become somebody that could help others in some way.
That's amazing. And it will be beautiful to take you to those places and show you around our powerful country. I'm sure it will be a closing circle from this 5-year-old, and many things will be dropped. Yeah. Thank you so much, Henare, brother. And looking forward to do it together and bring something really fresh and powerful and transformative to our community in Israel, the people that will come to Reshut Le'air, we call it, permission to shine.
Can you say that again?
Reshut Le'air.
Reshut Le'air?
Yes, yeah, you say that good. So thank you so much, and we'll be in touch soon, and thanks anyone that's watching it, and check out the link below if you didn't get your ticket, and we're looking forward to see you in the event. And in Hebrew we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Thanks, brother. Speak soon.